Hi, this is Greg in Pensacola, Florida. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at Creality3D's CR-10 Enlarged 3D printer. This printer was sent to me by Gearbest. This is the third Creality3D printer that I have received from Gearbest to take a look at and give my opinion on. And I've reviewed the CR-10 regular 300mm version. I reviewed the CR-10 mini, and now I'm doing the CR-10 Enlarged. And then I purchased a CR-10S for myself, and so I'll talk about all four of them at the end together, you know, and what I think. But this printer right here arrived. It comes in a 40-pound box, so it's not light. I had to go out there and give the DHL person a hand getting it to the house when they pulled up, and so I was pretty surprised how heavy the box was. And once I built the printer, I knew why. This is one solid piece of 3D printer. Your build volume on this is 400 millimeters by 400 millimeters by 400 millimeters, which equates to about 15 3/4 inches cube on there, which is a massive build volume. I thought the CR-10 was big, and then I put this down there and I was like, wow, this is really big. And I know they make a model that's bigger than this. It's a 500 by 500, but this is good for me. 400 by 400 is plenty big, and I really don't have any interest in bringing the 500 one in here. It's just, that would just be too big, and it's going to take up too much space. But let me talk about this printer. I'll flash up pictures of the unboxing as I go, like I normally do on there, because I don't like putting the camera over top of the table while I'm unboxing it and stuff. But it's set up just like the other Creality CR-10s. I was out of the box and up printing within 25 minutes, and I had my first benchy going. So this is the first thing I printed out. I used the same exact profile I used on the CR-10 and CR-10S, and all I did was change the build volume so that it would, you know, print in the center of the place. Some of the upgrades that are on here, I like to watch some of the older videos or even some of the more recent videos on the CR-10 Enlarged. This has all the upgrades that the CR-10S does. There is no 3D printed parts on this printer at all. So it has the dual Z rods here in the back, and again, there'll be pictures flashing up. So it's got the dual Z motors on there. It has the injection molded filament drive up here on top. It's no longer 3D printed. My original CR-10 had the 3D printed version that went on top of the filament drive, but the Mini, the 10S, and the Enlarged have now since gone to the injection molded piece. This back here, the cable, the heat bed relief strain, this is new. I watched a video just a couple weeks ago on another channel where a guy reviewed this printer, and that was the only piece that hadn't been upgraded on his. So, you know, hats off to Creality, because they are coming up and they are updating all those printers that are starting to go out the door. So really, this is fully updated. The top where the Z rods have gone in has been injection molded for a while now, since the first printer I got. But I was really happy to see that the cable strain relief, so I didn't need to print anything for this printer. Now, the only thing that you can't put on this printer that I've printed for the other ones are those large wagon wheel bed leveling knobs, because this has the two rails that go underneath here for the support, and it has two sets of the V-slot roller wheels that move your bed back and forth. You know, so you don't have the room to put that big knob. But, and this is something I'll touch on a little bit, this printer is super solid. It is crazy heavy moving it around. And, you know, I've set the bed level on there, and I still can live level this bed. I have it on my game table out in the living room right now, so I can walk around to the back and grab those leveling knobs as I live leveled it. But it's solid, man. Those springs aren't going anywhere. You know, I'm not worried about losing the bed level on this. It's been great through all these prints. The power supply is the same. It's no quieter or noisier than any of the other ones on there. So I mean, it's loud. It's not a printer you're going to run in your living room while you're watching TV. What else? Oh, this definitely, it has on your Y carriage here, this belt and the motor in the back are much bigger than the ones that come on a regular CR-10 and CR-10S, you know, because you're moving a lot more glass and a lot more metal around. My version of the heat bed, it covers the entire print surface underneath the bottom, so it does go edge to edge. It's a 400 millimeter heat bed. It's not a 300 millimeter heat bed on a 400 millimeter plate. So I was happy to see that, because I think when the S4s were coming out, I think they had the smaller heat pad on it. So you're getting the most up-to-date printer that Creality makes, and I think these really are the final versions of these printers now, because all the 3D parts are gone, all the injection molded pieces are on there, and it's just a really, really good design that that works. Fans are a little loud, but it's been like that since day one with the first printer. But where I print, it doesn't matter. I keep 4 or 5 printers going at a time in that room, so the room's loud to begin with. What else we got with it? So I printed the Benchy, and then I moved over to the coined the Wargamer Benchy, and then this was my next print right here. I've changed no settings, from just the standard profile that I'm using in Simplified 3D, with all the other Creality printers here. Even the CR-10 Mini and the CR-10 Enlarged, all I did was change the the bed size, but the profiles are all the same across all the printers. So really happy with how that first cage came out, because I didn't want to make anything string, and of course I'm going to have to stand up and do this because this is so big. So you can get a look at how that cage looks on there. And then I just went right through the circuit. So I printed the closed container, and these are your War Layer 2 containers from the recent Kickstarter that just ended. Andrew Askadal makes these, and so I game. Matter of fact, the guys are coming over today, in about an hour, so I'm trying to record this so it's done, and we're going to be playing 40K all day, and these will go right out there onto that game table. But these are great pieces. It gives you a good look at how your printer's doing over time, because these are not super quick to print. You're going to run 6-7 hours to print one of these, and but when it's all said and done, you've got a usable piece that you can put in your in your game train bucket and use it. So those prints were done. We'll talk about the bed leveling. It does have assisted bed leveling, basically. So what it's going to do is move the print head around to different positions on the print plate. So on my CR-10S, it moves it to pretty much where each one of these screw holes is on the build plate, and then you can level from there. This one here is like a little weird. It did up at the front 300. I already knew that it wasn't going to do the full 400, but it did like 300 back and then over and then up. So, like this part right here, it wasn't part of that assisted bed leveling algorithm. Not a big deal. Maybe they'll update that in a future version, but all you got to do is just use your controls. And I like going over where the screw holes are, where your leveling knobs. I just go to each one, level those 4 points, bring it to the middle, level it, print the Benchy, and then I start my live leveling. So I got that out of the way. This does contain power loss resume. So if you do lose power, it'll write a dump file and you can resume to print. It also has a filament sensor, which is right here. And so that's like that. And I'm going to come back to this filament sensor here in a minute and why this is like this and not on the printer. Let's see. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to print something a little bit bigger. I collaborated on the Worlds Overrun Kickstarter campaign, but AxoloteGaming on Thingiverse, he has some Tyranid-esque type terrain that he had on his Thingiverse page, and it was really nice. So I shot him an email and said, hey, terrain looks great. Is it all right if I show it off on here? And he said, sure. So these are just some of his pieces, and of course there'll be links to this, there'll be links to the War Layer store and stuff like that. But these are pieces straight off the printer. I don't think I scaled any of these. I just printed them as they were out of the file. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I scaled this one because these spires are about the same height. But just to give you an idea, some of the print quality that's coming off it. This is still remnants on the outside of it. But right there. I mean, these are nice pieces. So again, These will go right out onto the game table. There's different sizes. And then there's a larger piece, you know, right here. I took and reapplied my hairspray to this last night, and so this has been sitting on it all night. You know, so you got a larger, nice scatter train piece to put on your table. So it's a really nice train. He did a really good job to it. Like I said, there will be a link to his page, you know, up here in the train. But you see how many pieces of this stuff that I have, you know, on here that theoretically, you know, I could print this. Oh, if I did this, I could almost print every bit of this at once. Now, I'm probably not that brave, you know, in the amount of time that's going to happen on there to print it all at once, but this is to give you an idea just how big this build volume can be on your plate. These pieces right here, these are ones that you can glue together, so they get nice and long. But just wanted to show you that whole surface area that you're going to be able to get off this printer. I printed a couple other pieces. This is from Duncan Shadow Acosta. So this is one of the, this was a Patreon subscriber piece that he gave out, and I just blew it up. I think this is 200% of its normal size on there, so that fits right on the bed. I could have made that bigger also, but I was getting close to the end of this piece of terrain. And then this one is, let me look at this designer's name. This is JPACEK. JPAC? Maybe I'm butcher these names, but this is a piece that he had on his. It's called Sci-Fi Rocky Ruin. Again, the links will be down there. I blew this one up 250%. When I did it, I forgot to run it through NetFab because it kind of stretched out. Didn't make it completely manifold right there, but that's all right. You know, you paint it up, you put some flock over it. This is still a great piece. But this was a nice looking piece also. Fit right here on the print bed, no trouble at all. Could have gone probably 300% easily on that piece and it would have fit. Now I'm going to come back and talk about the filament drive. And this is just not this printer. My dislike for the filament sensor started with the Anycubic i3. They give false positives, and there's nothing worse than when you're in a 35-hour print that you walk away and you come home from work and your printer is stopped and it's saying, oh, I'm out of filament. And the Anycubic has that ultra base, and so it's already released a print and you're ruined a print when the filament is clearly sticking through the filament drive and no trouble at all. Didn't have false positives on the Creality things. The problem I have with this one is it doesn't want to mount on here. When it's doing its retractions and stuff like that, this thing can start to wobble a little bit and it pops off. And if it pops off, now it starts doing some crazy stuff. So I started up a print, I come home from work, and that filament drive popped off, and it snapped the filament. So my filament went past the drive, and then it stopped, and it was printing in midair when I got home, and I was like, dang it. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to do like I do with all the other printers that have a filament drive on it right now. And I just stick a little piece of filament in there, and I just leave it behind the printer. I'm not worried about running out of filament using, you know, I've had that happen like twice in 2 years that I haven't estimated right. But I saw on Thingiverse some people have done some combination prints, you know, because this isn't an optical drive. I mean, an optical sensor. This is more like a, you know, your Z-stop, you know, I mean, your Y carriage end stop sensor in there detecting the filament. And just sometimes this press fit, you know, just doesn't keep it where it needs to. And especially as this carriage starts coming up, that's what I noticed. Once you get over maybe 4 or 5 inches, that's when this thing starts working itself a little loose. I don't know if it's because it's more parallel with the filament. I don't know. I took it off. I put a piece of filament through it. I may print one of the other pieces and give it a try. And if I do, I'll let you know how it works. But for right now, I just went back to the... Do I have them here? Yeah. I just went back and I printed this filament guide that I've done on all the other Creality printers I have. I put it in there. It holds the cable nice. It guides the filament through like it should, and we don't have any problems printing. You know, so that's really the only negative I have on this printer. The only other thing I can say about this printer, you're not going to print ABS. Do not buy this printer if you're looking to print ABS unless you have some type of monster enclosure to put this in. The first time I printed with this, because there is so much glass on here, and I live in Florida, but you know, our weather down here right now has been in the 20s outside at night and things like that. So I keep my house at usually 65. You know, it takes a while to heat this bed up normally. And the very first print, I set it to 60, and it took probably 25 minutes to heat up. I had my ceiling fans running out in that main room, so I had to shut the ceilings fan off, and then it started, you know, and then it got up to 60 and it was okay. Since then, I've dropped it down to 50 degrees Celsius on the print bed, and I've had no issues at all. I think it heats up in a respectable amount of time. I haven't had anything come loose. You know, of course, I use the hairspray. This is all Maker Geeks filament. Is it Maker Geeks? Yes, this is all Maker Geeks filament. You know, so they say you don't need to print with a heat bed, but I've never see that work anyways. And I haven't had any lifting, anything like that. So 50 degrees Celsius on this bed for PLA has worked fine. Other than that, I've got nothing bad to say about this printer. It prints as good as all the other CR10s that I own. It's got the dual Z-axis, the power loss resume. It does have the filament drive, you know, if you want to use that. But definitely check on Thingiverse, because there's some guys that have done some modifications, and I really haven't dug through the Facebook group too much yet. I may look in there to see what they're doing to keep this thing from popping off, because it's not screwed on. It's just a press fit. You know, this part right here just fits on that rail, but as it's printing, it just comes loose, you know, as it's retracting and pushing that filament back. Other than that, Bowden tubes have been great. You know, the fans have been fine on there. The rollers, it's quiet when you do a quick move from one piece to another and you hear this bed jump from one side to the other. You can definitely hear that belt and that motor throwing it forward. But I really like this larger motor on the Y carriage back here. This is nice on there. And the larger belt. I didn't have to tighten the concentric nuts on the bottom. They were all ready to go. This belt is plenty tight. Almost sounds like a guitar string. You know, the Z rods were all lubed up. All I had to do was tighten the Z couplers at the bottom. So, like I said, setup is quick. You know, and if you set one up, you can set the second one up in no time at all. You get all the stuff that you get in the box with the other one. You get if you want to put that orange stuff, you know, mine came with the orange plastic in here. It comes in a giant ball. So if you want to undo that and put it in, that's completely, so you do get that. It doesn't come black like this. The only printer that doesn't come with the inserts that go in here is the CR-10 Mini. That one does. It's just like you see it coming out of the box, black. But the other three have all had the orange. The CR-10 regular, I guess they put it in at the factory. I don't think they do that anymore because my CR-10S did not, and this one does not. So really, it's a good printer. I got coupons for all four are down below. This is normally an $800 printer. I've got a coupon down below. It's $649 right now. So if you're interested in a large format printer, it's right here. But I also have great prices still on the other three models too that are down there. So, and I do appreciate you guys that have used the links to buy those printers. It does put, filament in these printers for this channel. It puts resin into my Moai for that printer. So got lots of stuff coming. No requirement to use it, but if you do, I do thank you on there. So it's a good printer. I mean, I worked my way right through this line of printers. This was a very specific I wasn't going to review ANET A8s. I only wanted to put stuff out here I thought that would be beneficial to you guys. And based on its reputation and watching the other videos, you see how good this thing prints on there. I think they really did a good job with it. So if this area is your budget, I think it's a valid option. I know this fits right into the Prusa Mark II, Mark III price range, so it's a competitor for it. I think if you're a prop maker, you want a large format printer, maybe the 12x12 of the regular CR-10 will do it. Or this one here. I mean, there's a lot of print volume here. And so this will, like I said, I'm not going to review the S5. It's just way too big on there. I'm good with this. This is about as big as I want to get, just because of the time it takes to heat up and the footprint on my shelving back there that this is going to take up. But I'm really glad that I do have this here. So final thoughts. I own the first four of this, the Creality line of printers on there: the CR-10 Mini, the S, the 10, and now the Enlarged. My go-to printers out of the two is the S and Mini on there. I print a ton on that Mini on there. I'd like to have like 6 of those suckers up there because they heat up so fast. The glass is thinner on there, and you're just heating up less surface area. But then your build volume on that printer is similar to what it is on my Maker Gears. But it's a super inexpensive printer. It's less than $300. So that's if you're looking for a $300 or less printer, stop right there, and that's the one you get. Don't buy. I know you can get an ANET A8, and things like that, but I just think that the CR-10 Mini is going to get you out of the box and printing stuff that you like right off the bat, and it makes the hobby fun. Buy a kit like that A8 as your second printer, so you're not pulling your head out trying to get good prints when you don't have enough experience on getting good prints with a printer. So the CR-10S and the CR-10 Mini are the two that are always running in the back. This one will definitely have its place on there. I want to print a Colosseum, for a Roman, basically a gladiator fighting game called Arena Rex. So you're going to see that coming on the channel. I've got a Moai video coming out next. This is one of the figures that I just printed off and primed up and getting ready to paint that up. So that's coming out. My next printer review will be in mid-February, and this is a printer I asked for. You're going to see the TiVo Little Monster will be the next printer review. That thing is huge, and it's in a box, 70-pound box, sitting out in my living room right now. So I'll start putting that together Sunday or Monday, and then start doing test prints on that. It's a Delta printer. I've never used a Delta printer, so this will be different. So this will put me out of my normal printing comfort zone, I guess, but I want to use that printer for Flex, PETG, and just stuff I don't normally print with here in the office on my Maker Gears or Wargaming Train in the back. So, but the Creality3D line is solid. You're not going to go wrong. If you're looking for one of the printers in there, it sets up quick. You're quick to your first print. Everything you need is in the box. It even comes with a mini roll of filament, even though I don't really use that. I just put my Maker Geeks or eSun filament onto them, and I print. So you see I got gray filament in there now. That's because I've been printing my wife and Dobby, so I did print that off on there. You can find this model on my Mini Factory. I'm not going to link to it because I don't want extra eyes maybe that don't need to be on that, but it's on my Mini Factory. If you go there and type Dobby, it'll show right up. It's the very first thing. But they did a good job. I mean, the printer's really good. I thank Gearbest for giving me the opportunity to take a look at it. And this one is definitely a keeper. And so it'll go back into my Creality3D print farm in the back. And, I appreciate the new subscribers. I've gotten a lot of subscribers lately. And YouTube has made a whole bunch of changes. I'm above that minimum threshold that they're imposing on watched hours and things like that. I've got to, I had a birth of my granddaughter, and school started up, so it's been a little bit of delay, but finishing up my second week of school, so I've kind of got my schedule down for that. I've done all the holiday stuff with my girls and my new granddaughter, and so now it's kind of school work and, you know, working on the channel. So I'm going to really try, and if you've been here since the beginning, I know it's hard because I love putting out 40-minute videos, to try to keep some shorter videos showing off just other stuff, because I've got a ton of stuff printed. I just need to record stuff that I'm printing, and then I want to do some project-based stuff too, but I'll talk about that in another video. So if you're still here at the end, thank you very much. Coupon codes are down below, and if you do happen to use one of those to pick them up, to pick up one of the Creality line of printers, I do thank you very much, and I thank you for sticking around and watching what I have to say on the channel, and we'll see you soon on the game table. Thanks.